doing, Brother Craig? How you doing? Good morning, my neighbors!
Good morning, my neighbors. Good morning. Good morning.
How you doing, Brother Craig?
How you doing, Brother Craig? Shout out to my Morning Motivation family. Welcome to Morning Motivation, your daily dose of inspiration and empowerment. I'm your host, Jamon, and I'm thrilled to have you as we kickstart our day with positivity and purpose. So whether you're here to seek motivation, connect with like-minded individuals, or simply get your day started on the right foot, you've come to the right place. And as you're coming in the door, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're still standing strong with your boy. Yeah, I know you're here already. I got my producers in the building. And you see it's Monday morning, so your boy's moving a little slow this morning. So, if you want to buy your boy a cup of coffee, the link's pinned in the chat and also on the screen. Woo. Let's just say I did a no-no last night. Yeah, man, at midnight, your boy was out here doing some fishing. Let's just say I got a good little nap in, so if I'm talking a little slow this morning, or my thoughts don't come out quite as coherent as they, well, sometimes do, that's the reason. And so this morning we are finishing up our series on bouncing back after setbacks, and we talked about quite a few things using the movie Inside Out as our as our springboard. So we've covered a lot of ground, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of the stuff that we've talked about, it's very, it's needed, it's timely, but it's one of those things that you don't need it until you're going through some stuff. It's one of those things that you don't even think about until you've had setbacks, tragedies, loss of loved ones, relationship problems, and you need support. And so that's why a lot of these videos I do, and I do them in series, because we'll get into it. We'll get into it. So today's show, this final part to this, is probably the hardest one for me to do, because it was also the one that I struggle with the most. And I went through most of my life afraid to trust people. You know, after you have some setbacks, you find it hard to trust people again. Put a 1 in the chat if you have subscribed to that line of thinking at some point in your life. Whether it's I can't trust my friends, I can't trust women, I can't trust men, I can't trust people, people are stupid, we say those things. I think most people have had a major disappointment, and it made them gun shy about trusting again, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. You don't want to love again, and the moment you are just out there doing you, living your best life, here come somebody. one-ish. Here comes somebody that makes you want to love again, makes you want to try it one more time. I know I've said it. My wife has said when I met my wife, look, I ain't never getting married again. I ain't never look. We can be friends, we can be boyfriend and girlfriend forever, but this whole marriage thing, man, I'm gonna have my own place. You gonna have your own place, and we get together. You know, we can do us, but I need my place to retreat to. I know a lot of people have said that. A lot of thoughts are kind of popular in that narrative. But then one day somebody walks in and bow, there we go. All out the window. So, bouncing back after setbacks. We talked about resiliency. We talked about fear, how fear and anxiety plays a major role. But today we're going to dig into um, a fun one, but also a problematic one as well. Growing up, coming into my adulthood in the 90s, I saw a lot of shows like this. Living Single, Martin, the Cosbys. I'm talking about really the black shows. Black entertainment really became a thing in the 90s. We still didn't get the same budgets as our counterparts, but you started seeing more stories being told. And Living Single was probably one of my favorite shows because it was such a good mix of comedy with real stories and real challenges and also solutions. And you got a reason. For me, it informed the need of having people around me. And so for me growing up, I didn't trust a lot of people. Most of the people that came into my life, I felt like they was out to get me for some strange reason. And I operated in a lot of fear. I operated in a lot of anxiety. And so this show in particular, matter of fact, put your favorite show, whatever your favorite show was growing up that, was friend based, put it in the chat because I know I'm forgetting a couple. But for me, it was because of where I grew up, it was a lot of people just in survival mode. And so it always seemed like somebody was always running a scam or always trying to be or trying to get something from you. Whether it was a 3-card money game or, two for 20s. You always had to think about, okay, why is this person talking to me right now? What do they want? And I discovered early on that in life, you can't do it alone. You need people. You need friends. Dang, Auntie Canada went way back. She said good times, the Jeffersons. Facts. Shout out to the classic shows. Girlfriends and A Different World. Family Matters. Yeah. 227. Yeah, A Different World, man. I think A Different World might have been my second favorite show because I didn't know. I think it gave a insight to college. Nobody in my family had really ever gone to college to that point in my life. Well, I had one cousin that had gone to college, but she went to Duke. Super smart. And so I didn't think I really compared. I didn't think I was that smart to go to school like that. Plus, what is college? Nobody in my family really had ever done it, especially in my immediate family. My mom didn't go to college. My dad didn't go to college. So there were no conversations about, what it looked like. I didn't have any friends. And then my cousin that did go, she was like quite a few years older than me. So it wasn't like we grew up together. She was like a big sister, but we wasn't really. She was a bookworm. She stayed in the books. And so she would talk about some things she was reading, but she didn't really, when she came home, she didn't even talk about college. So I had no point of reference for it. So being able to see and get a different understanding, it really changed my life in a lot of ways. And it really put in my mind that life gets better. Life gets better. So I guess what I'm saying is hope. When I would see shows like this, to me, it was just more than entertainment. It gave me hope that one day I could have relationships like that. And so you guys know about my guy Randy. Me and Randy had a very tumultuous relationship early on because I wasn't feeling the friend thing. I didn't trust people. But over time, he became a staple, one of those day one friends. And then it's about 5 other guys that we've been like best friends. And I'm close. The relationships are weird because we're not all like best friends all at the same time. It's like me and like one will be close for like this 3 to 5 year period or this 10-year period. There'll be another one, then this other one will creep in, and now I'm talking to this one a little bit more, and we're hanging out more. But then when we all get together, of course, it's all love. So why do we need others to be resilient? Can anybody answer that question? I know that's a little bit of a deep philosophical question first thing in the morning. So if you don't worry about it. I just want to, resilience is something that you can't do alone. You have to have other people in that space, just like in the movie Inside Out, just like in Living Single and all these other shows. There's people that get us out of our own mind, that give us different perspectives. And we need that to make sense of the world in a lot of ways. The human heart longs for companionship and friendship, community. It's safety in numbers. And when you don't have those people that's close to you, you draw inside yourself, or you become extra clingy to the one person in your life. And that also causes a lot of challenges. So if we think about why we need other people to be resilient, if you remember the movie Inside Out, she had all these emotions: embarrassment, joy, sadness. What was the other one? Anyway, she had all these emotions, and they worked together to make decisions. They worked together to get this little girl through whatever challenge she was going through. And anytime you got stuck in one, that was an imbalance. There was a serious imbalance because your support system offers you different perspectives to help you process emotions, and it gives you strength to push forward when you feel stuck. Has anybody ever felt stuck? Just didn't know what to do? In a lot of ways, they act like a bit of a mirror because they remind you of, remember when I went through this and you told me this, or you showed me that. And I think a lot of times I struggle with it. I struggle with it sometimes now just because I'm so busy. And so I'll form relationships with people that I work with on different jobs. And every now and then I'll make a new friend. But I have one thing, and I said this show is going to be the hardest one for me because I still struggle with it. I'm not as good a friend sometimes as I have. And my day ones is all good with them. They know me. They know my story. They've experienced a lot of things that I've experienced, and they understand who I am. But my new friends, I have to give them the warning. I said, hey, look, I'm probably not going to call you, and I don't want you to feel away, but I don't think about calling people. I think about, what I'm doing here and there, and I have so many things going that I may not think to call. But if you ever call me, I'm always going to answer. And they'd be like, oh, bro, it's all good. It's all good. And then we'll be having, man, you don't never call a brother. I'm like, bro, I tried to warn you, dog. Auntie Candace said, it took over 35 years to really say that I have friends. Wow, over 35 years. Now, since my mid-40s, I can finally say that I have a few close friends now. I never gave the friend title out so quickly. Yeah, it was always, we cool, they're associates. But we live and we learn, right? We live and we learn. We need people in our life, no matter how frustrating it can be sometimes. Is a part of our growth. It's like just trying to live in a happy place every day all the time. It's not realistic. It's not realistic to be in a sad place every day all the time. You need the balance, and people provide their balance. Think about people in your life who genuinely lift you up. Who are they? The friends, the family member, the ones that are there when you need them most. You ain't gotta put their name out there. Just put a 1 if it's a friend. Put a 2 if it's a family member. The person that's there for you the most. And I don't want to get anybody in trouble because they named the wrong person. Because if I say and tell you somebody who's there for me more than I don't say my wife, oh, it's a problem. Because my wife is always there for me. But because the role she plays, because of the position that she's in, for me, it's a no-brainer. So I might say somebody else. Family member. So for me, I believe that God waited to send the right people in my life. I believe people come, baby sis. I believe people come into our lives. If some people, they've always kind of been around, but there's never been a connection. But it's like when I grew up, I was trying to do what the other people in my community was doing. But then when they would see me out of pocket, they would see me out of place, they would always say, what you doing here? You ain't supposed to be here. What's going on with you? It's like I was trying to follow the crowd, but the crowd recognizes, bro, you not on that. You're not supposed to be doing what we doing. And it's like they were trying to protect me from myself, even though we were not close. And I took it as an assault on my manhood early on. Bro, I can do whatever you do, It's like I had something to prove. And so I went out and I did stuff, and I had, if you want to call it success, I had success. I was very good at it. But it was never quite me. And then I started making friends, and I started realizing that these new friends that I was making, my values aligned more with their values. The things that make them happy or excited are the same things that made me happy and excited. It wasn't a hard fit to be with these people. I didn't have to prove myself to be with this group of friends versus this group of friends. I felt like I had to prove myself. And then the most interesting thing happened. I left and I went to the military. And I started making all these new friends. But they were not really friends. They were colleagues. They were fellow soldiers. We were in the same struggle. And sometimes when you're in the same struggle, you confuse friendship with relationships of necessity. And then whenever the struggle was over, whenever this thing that drew us together was over, we would go apart. We would fade away from each other. And guess who was still there? The day ones. The day ones were still there. Because at my core, I lucked out. I found my best friends in middle school, in high school. Now I have some really close friends that I've met along the way, and I think they can never be the day one group because we met so much earlier in life, but they are the closest thing to best. Because my day ones are really brothers now; they're family, and so my new friends, they are engrafted into that space. And now I have this rich relationship with all these people around me. And they're constantly pushing me, encouraging me, sometimes pulling me away from my desk, pulling me away from the stresses of the world, just to say, hey man, take a breather. What you need, I got you. Oh man, something's going on. I'm there. I'm showing up. I'm supporting, no matter what's going on. And for me personally, I've healed so much because of my friendships. Even though there were some bumps in the roads, we might have been arguing and fighting over here about this or about that, but when it came down to it, we always had each other's back. I've had friends that I've had to stay away from because of the partner they chose. And we've had the conversation. But outside of their partner, when they call me, I'm there. When I call them, they're there. You see, real friendship, true friendships, they're irreplaceable. They're irreplaceable. And sometimes people fall out. Facts. It happens. But if that person is a true friend, fix it. Because real friends are hard to come by in this life. And part of my journey has been with the diversity in the friendships. Like I mentioned, my day ones, then I got some Army friends, then I have some friends that I've met in the video production space, in the speaking space, and it's just, I've cherry picked one or two here, there, and we've bonded, and my life is richer for it. And I'm talking about myself as I typically do, because I don't want to be too intrusive in such sensitive subjects. But friendship is essential for the soul. You have to have friends, which is why so many young men join gangs, because they want to feel like they're connected to something. They want to belong to something. And it's serious when you would join a group and give your life for the group. That's a strong need that we have as humans, the need to have connection. And so many of us walk around day to day and we don't really have connections outside of scrolling. We scroll through social media. We have our followers. We have our subscribers. We have the people that, we follow and subscribe to. And we're building faux relationships. Shout out to me. We're building faux relationships. They're not built on anything other than I follow this person. There's not a lot of interaction, but you've been following them for years. You know their children. You know what they do for professionally. I mean, you know everything about them. Well, at least what they're showing you anyway. And there's a bond there because now you're getting all these other things. But guess what? That's not real. That's not a real relationship. It's a one-sided relationship. We need people that's in our life that we can put our hands on, that we can hug, that we can laugh with, that we can share our deepest personal feelings and thoughts with. Because that's how we build resiliency. We need somebody that's going to check us from time to time. And ladies, no shade. I promise you this is no shade. But the number one reason I hear from ladies' friendships that dissolve is because somebody tried to check them on something they were doing. That is the number one thing that I've personally seen or experienced why a lot of ladies' friendships dissolve. Is that true? My ladies in the room, put a 1 in the chat if it's true. Put a 2 if it's not. I'm just really curious about it because this is what I've seen, and I used to have a lot of female friends, and the moment somebody checked them that was on their level, not somebody that they had like on a role model type. I'm talking about somebody on their same level, and they tried to tell them about themselves, and not even in a negative way. Just like, girl, you shouldn't do that because this, and that, and that. Well, who are you? I've heard them. So I'm just like, wow. Dudes, we typically don't have that. My homeboys will check me in a minute. I'll check them in a minute. But because we know it's out of love. And, this is building resiliency. This is part of the soup, the gumbo that makes us whole, makes us human. Having those people to not just pat us on the back, but also, it seems like criticism, so I'm going to use the word criticism, that also criticizes us. But because they love you, it's not in a malicious way. It's not in a malicious way. Having the diversity of different personalities in a friend circle, it pays huge dividends down the road. So the close friends that I have now, we're all on the same page. We have vision, goals, we share leadership values. We've encouraged each other to hold each other accountable. We are prayer warriors, fire. I like it. So I don't mind someone trying to check me as long as they come correct. It's the way that it's done. Not everyone has access to my space to do that because they don't really know me. Got you. That makes sense. Yeah. I can see that. But that's why we need people in our lives. I feel like I can learn from anybody. I feel like I've never put myself in a position where I thought I was better than anybody. My grandmother said you can learn from anybody, even a fool. Well, my great grandma. She said, a fool will teach you a whole lot. It might be what not to do, but you still learn a lot. Reciprocity in relationships, being the friend that you want. People often treat people the way they want to be treated. People often give the love that they want to receive. And I think that's the golden rule. But then there's a platinum rule now, and it's treat people the way they want to be treated. And I know that's a lot to think about, but most times think about it this way. And I look at my friendships. My friends, I know who they are. They know who I am. But we haven't talked in a while. We know we have a window. If it's been 60, 90, 120 days, and I ain't talked to a certain one of them, it's time to shoot a text. It's time to pop up at the crib. It's just, what I'm saying? It's time to reach out. And all of my friends are pretty good at it. I suck at it still, although I have gotten better in the last like 2-3 years. But I got used to being gone because I was in the military, so I was always gone. And I kind of fell out the circle for a while. But the moment I came back in, it was all love, and I got back on the roster. But even when I was gone, I still had a lot of people calling in, checking on you, boy. But anyway, what's the difference between independence and toxic independence? Have y'all heard those terms yet? Independence versus toxic independence. The independence, or I'll call it a healthy independence. It's like having support. You know, we talked about friendship today and why it's important. But having the support is crucial. However, there are those times when we have to go it alone. There are those times when we have to follow our own heart. You know, we can't always take the advice of the person that's closest to us sometimes because they just don't understand. We may not have fully shared with them. And so we have to, you know, traverse whatever course we're on by ourselves. And so it's building that inner strength is crucial for many of us. And some people, they've been surrounded by people their whole life. They've had people's ear their whole life. They've been able to ask this person and that person, what should I do? What should I do? But it's like driving that car. You can watch your mom or your dad drive a car every day for 20 years. But until you get behind the wheel and you start implementing those things, you're never going to be good at driving a car. You have to do it. And sometimes there are some paths we have to walk alone. People may not understand it. They may not seem like they care. And it's left up to you to make whatever decision that is. And that's how you develop that inner strength, the inner resilience. That's how that's developed. Going through what you got to go through, figuring it out. Being resilient also means picking yourself up after you've fallen. And it's good to have a support system, but it's super important to develop that self-reliance. We talked about the open mindset versus the fixed mindset. I mean open mindset versus the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset was, this is the way it is, this is the way it's always been, this is the way it's always going to be, and you stuck in a way. You stuck in this loop. I know people who have never left their city. I know people who've never gone more than 30 miles outside of their city their entire lives. So to them, they live in this little bitty bubble, this little space, and their mind is fixed on, this is the way life is. The best thing I could have done was join the military. Because not only did I travel to go to training, so now I'm living in Georgia, now I'm living in South Carolina, which is right down the street, honestly. But then my first duty station is in Korea. I'm flying in and out of airports. I'm traveling all over the world, living in different countries and different cities and meeting new people. I was exposed to so many more things that I had to have an open mindset, because everywhere I went, it was different. The languages were different. The food was different. The people were different. People are people, but the cultures are different. And so I've developed an open mindset early on. But for the people who are stuck in that same community, never getting out of the same area code, you tend to get more fixed in your thinking about certain things. Not across the board, just using it as an example. Just using it as an example. Having an open mindset allows new thoughts, allows for more growth. Having a fixed mindset keeps you stuck in a place, in a certain pattern. Talked about the book Who Moved My Cheese. The two mice were stuck that this is the place where we're going to get the cheese. So they would go there and they just sit and wait for somebody to drop cheese from heaven. Versus the other two mice, they were just scurrying and You're going all through the maze, finding new spots, new cheese, better cheese. And this is what happens when you build that inner resiliency. You have strong support networks. What you can endure increases. What you can process increases. That bounce back muscle gets stronger and stronger. Stronger and stronger. But then there's this other independence called the toxic independence. And that's what I had. That's what I had. And I thank God that I'm not here anymore. But I would refuse to seek help. Now, ladies, I don't think many ladies have this problem. At least I haven't met, maybe in all of my life, I've met one or two that would refuse to take help from somebody or even ask them help for somebody. But dudes, man, most of us ain't gonna ask nobody for nothing. Especially if we don't feel like we have people in our corner that we can trust. We're not going downtown to talk to somebody about getting some government assistance. We'd rather sleep in our cars, hold a sign on the side of the road, try to use a little game to get us a place to stay for the night, you know. But asking for help, there's a struggle. And so many guys struggle with it. Because we feel like sometimes as men, we're supposed to have all the answers. We're supposed to have it all figured out and know exactly what's going on at all times. When that could be, oh my God, that is the farthest thing from the truth. Nobody knows it all. Nobody has it all figured out. We're all in the same boat, just trying to make it do what it do. There's survival mode. And then there's, well, no, I'm going to go, not survival mode. There's feast and there's famine. There's times when things are clicking and we got it, we're feasting. And then there's time when don't seem like nothing is going right. There's famine. And we have to know how to shift that gear between asking for help and figuring it out on our own. Tapping into our circle or staying in this focused space of building this self-resiliency, that independence. Having healthy independence is just being able to do it. Toxic is when you refuse to help from anybody else, or you refuse to let anybody else help you. You refuse to ask help from anybody else. And there's so many stories I can give you, but I'm not even digging up those old memories. Because I was stupid. I was stupid for a long time because I refused to do it. And I put myself through so much unnecessary stress, so much unnecessary strain, so many nights where I could have been enjoying life, but I made the decision to stay away because I needed to fix it. And in the end, I didn't fix it. I still had eventually somebody had to come in and help your boy out. Slap me on the back of my head and say, hey, boy, stop acting like that. Your people here for a reason. Let us be here. But there's also the sign of some good friends. There's also a sign of a good support network. So for this week, man, since today is the final day, and we're going to move on to a new topic on Wednesday. But I want you to reflect on who your current support system is. Who are the ones that you count on, you lean on when things get a little tough? This week, I want you to reach out to those people. And everybody should have at least 3 people in their support circle. I don't care if it's friends or family. Reach out to them this week. Let them know that you appreciate them for always having your back, for always having that ear that you can vent to, for not judging you, but always uplifting you and encouraging you. I gotta write this. This is my homework too, because I do struggle with that. So this week together, y'all probably do it all the time anyway. So this whole show is probably just for me, in all honesty. Building that support circle, having healthy independence versus toxic independence. So if you just so happen to find yourself out there in a similar situation as me, this week, we're going to reach out to some people. We're going to let people know that we value them, that we appreciate them, that we got nothing but mad love and respect for them. So that has been how to bounce back during times of adversity, after setbacks, after you've been through stuff in life. Auntie Karen said, I do it every chance I get. Yeah. And so I have to be very conscious of it, because I don't do it. I get stuck in a certain mindset, and it's not a mindset that I don't think I need people, but I've conditioned my subconscious mind to not have those attachments, because I felt for so many years that I couldn't trust people. And so now, at this ripe old age, I am unraveling those strands, and I'm becoming more of a balanced friend. I am understanding the importance of reaching out more, reciprocating. And most of the people in this room right now, I know y'all don't struggle with it. Just off of what I've seen in the comments, the chats, and how you guys show up for me. You know, I know y'all don't struggle with that. You know, this show is probably not just for me, but for people like me who've experienced early hurts in life, who lived in isolation for a very long time, and they don't know how to really connect with people. They moved a lot. They traveled a lot. They never had stable friendships. And then they find themselves as adults, and their friend circle is small. Same deal. I have plenty of friends that I can reach out to. But because of my thought process, my mindset, I don't reach out the way that I should. So, good series. Very good series. It was one that I needed just because of the stuff that I've gone through. So I thank you guys, you ladies, for being on this journey, for all the support, for all the positive comments, for being true friends, for being a true support network, and helping to build that resiliency within me, reciprocating, being the friend that you want to have. I'm so appreciative. And I got to get ready to get up out of here, y'all. I know y'all hear the music going. But it's Monday, man. It's a new weekend. Your boy got a lot of moves to make. So go out, live a great life, bless others, reciprocate friends, and know this: hard times don't last, but tough people do. Strong friendships do. And you will be everything you were supposed to be if you just don't give up. If you surround yourself with positive people, loving people, and have the focus and the mission, you'll get everything that you ever desired. So you guys be blessed. Have a great day, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.